I have another big special here on the John Fourcade Show, a John Fourcade special. We are Ford in New Orleans, all remaining 2016 Explorers, $6,000 off. That's right, $6,000 off. Visit us at VetsFord.com, but all remaining 2016 Explorers, $6,000 off right here at Veterans Ford. We're back here on the John Fourcade Show. Mike Detillier along with John Fourcade. John, it was a Wild and Willie in Tiger Stadium. LSU gets the win over Jacksonville State, but early on, man, the Bluebirds were out. Brandon Harris got pulled. Danny Etling comes into the lineup. We see Leonard Fournette not playing in that football game, and Brandon right off the bat throws one. Man, that's not good. That's not good. And then he sits down, and Danny Etling, for one quarter, really looked impressive. He throws one downfield to Deshaun Smith, and he comes up with a touchdown. And that's the quota, getting to the tight end, that one play. And then Tre'Davious White here, and they actually measured it out. He ran 128 yards on this punt return, and man, he just kicks it up the field. And this guy, he's not all SEC. He's been All-American. We talked about him last week. What a great run back for Tre'Davious White. One of the few bright spots for the first two games of the season has been Tre'Davious, but the talk all week long certainly has been the fact that the pull, Showtime at Del Palo, he got the hook. Brandon Harris out, Danny Etling in, and for right now, the baton's in the hand of Danny Etling at quarterback.
Well, I think you should give the guy an opportunity. You let him go play in this football game. Like you said, for one quarter, he did a very good job. I mean, he only ended up 6 of 14 for 100 yards.
No completions in the second half.
And they threw 19 passes total in the game, 0 completions in the second half. So you heard Les say, that he did some good things, but he did some things that wasn't so good. So the jury's still out on him right now because you got to let him play a game, and you're going to play against the SEC team. So if he can go in the SEC game against Mississippi State this weekend and show us something, maybe you got a case to say we got a quarterback right here. But until then, you better have Harris available just in case this guy just can't get the job done, because we've known that Harris can play in the SEC. He's done it before. But for the long-term future, man, they better start looking.
Confidence-wise, Brandon Harris is broken right now.
Yeah.
You've got to be able to rehab him on that confidence level. You want Danny Etling to make it work right. And watching Danny on some film at Purdue, one of the things I see in him is that he's a real streaky quarterback, and that he'll get on a spurt where 6, 7, 8 throws really good, and then all of a sudden, my old friend Joe Clark, I know he's watching, he always says this, he derails the train. Mm-hmm. Something happens that derails, and then he'll throw 5 or 6 passes that are really bad, interceptions, incomplete, real high throws, and something derails him off of there, and you've got to get him back on the track again. So that tells me when I saw him play so well in the second quarter, and then all of a sudden, guess what happened? He derailed in the second half. He wasn't helped by his receivers, but no matter what, some of those throws, the one to Moore out in the flat, he just flat out missed him.
I think the situation with him is when he got started hot early, he made some completions, and I think it was 4 of 6, and he threw a touchdown pass. He kind of felt a little, hey, I got this, no problem whatsoever. Then he started trying to go the deep ball a little bit more in the second half. I saw that, and he didn't. A lot of them should have been picked off. The flat pass that he had, it should have been completed. I just don't think the coaching staff, too, they should have stayed with, let's just get him some nickel and dimes. Let's get the nickel and dimes. And I've always believed in that. When you got a quarterback who hasn't played much, the short passing game is an extension of your running game. It helps you a little bit. Throw the quick passing game, the swing passes, the bubble passes, the hitch routes. That'll lead to the deep routes. And we'll find out against Mississippi State because, he's playing SEC football now.
One thing is, Mississippi State's got a pretty good front four. They're pretty stout. Now, that back 7, now that's questionable, but that front 4 is good. LSU's offensive line, I thought, really improved from game 1 to game 2. But one guy who's really struggling right now, and I think the world of him as a player, and that's Malachi Dupree, but he's just not making the catch, John. And I know in talking to Drew Brees and Bobby yourself, when you got guys that in that funk, so to speak, as a player, you want to get them the football. Maybe it's a short throw, but get their confidence back. he's not catching the high ball good, but he's not catching anything at this point. He's struggling.
And Mike, they don't throw him, like, where's a quick slant? He's 6'3", 6'4". Get him a slant route, get him a hitch route, get him on a quick bubble screen. Let the ball get in his hand, and then let us see what he can do that way. That'll help him out a little bit catching the ball. You're right, he's having issues. You know, when he runs the curl routes down the field and a little high pass, well, then again, some of them balls are a little higher than he's normally used to catching. But I think he's gun shy a little bit. The fact that when you start throwing balls high on guys, they start thinking, hey, am I going to get hurt or what's going on here? But get him the ball quick. Throw the quick stuff to him, and let's see what he can do. Now, if he's having trouble catching the quick balls, then there's something mentally with him.
Yeah, I think you got to build his confidence back up.
Yep.
You need him to be playing at a high level now once SEC play starts up.
Yep.
Tulane was in a shootout against Southern John, and man, the points just came changing back and forth between it. But Tulane, hey, I give him credit. Again, Willie Fritz has done a great job here in getting his team prepared. And, man, the big run back here.
Yep, that's what they needed, you know, something to get it rolling right there. And Tulane needs stuff like this and to get the crowd into it. And, yeah, they
jumped all over Southern, and then all of a sudden Southern got back into the game a little bit later on. But the running attack is really impressive. I think once Willie can get his own people in here, I think you're going to see something really good. But you see here, Tulane's offensive line did a nice job up front, cracking up those holes up for him. And then again, you'll see it here, running it out right up the middle for the score.
I think they'll be tested this week because they're going to play a team that runs sort of what they run.
Man, listen, Navy been running that before you and I were born.
Yep. But I just look at it this way: if they're winning football games, nobody's caring right now. Let's win some games, and we'll worry about how we look and who we play against down the road. They need to get wins under their belts. Tulane hadn't had many of them over the years. Granted, they beat up on a Southern team, which is down a notch from them, but hey, they ran the ball well to put 66 points on the board. They got to still work on their passing game. I did not see anything worthwhile to even think about a passing game.
Another thing, too, is you need a signature win.
Yes.
I think with a young coach, you need a win against somebody that you didn't think you could beat to put some confidence in your football team. Now, if it'll happen this week, I don't know, but I do know one thing. Navy has run that triple option, man, for the last, 80 years, so to speak. I mean, that's what they have perfected in. And I think that's what Willie wants to do at Tulane. Mm-hmm. And I think he's got some personnel to do it. Doesn't have enough offensively. And I agree with you. You got to have that version of throwing the football, because that's one thing when you see those good Navy teams, they had the ability to throw the football downfield off that triple option.
Well, that's the whole key to it. You just can't sit back and run until the game's over with. There could be moments in the game, they'll shut the run down. You got, I'm not saying throwing 25 times a game, but if you could throw 15, 16 passes in this style of offense and complete 50% of them, that's a plus for you. And maybe get 120, 130 yards passing until you can figure out if you are going to be able to throw the football. You just can't live by the run in college football. It just doesn't work that way, Mike. I don't care what they're trying to say, well, we can rush for, all these yards where I was at before, 400 and something yards of rushing a game. You just can't do that and play against the Navies or the Houstons, the people the Cincinnatis, and people expect to win. It looks good on the scoreboard when you're putting, you could put 25, 28, 30 points, rush for 400 yards, but if you're getting beat 67 to 25, that's not going to do you any good either.
And Brantley is going to get his start this week against Navy. Also a big game, and had all of South Louisiana watching. Nicholls State going up against Georgia, 49-point underdog in that game. And, man, 14-13, they take the lead, and it was like the Rocky movie. The first one, when Rocky knocks down Apollo Creed, and you see the bar scene that everybody's cheering for him. Your nephew did a great job. We'll talk a lot more about Chase, but Nicholls' defense really played well. And they held up against a real physical offensive line of Georgia.
That's the thing I look at. People say, they were down. Let me say something right now. When it's time to put your shoes on and your belt on and your helmet on, whatever, and you go out and play football, I don't want to hear this. I'm down. You're still playing against somebody in front of you. And that defense from Nicholls stood up and played against a Georgia Bulldog SEC quality of team. I don't care what the coaches said, however they want to look at it. They were in a dogfight, and they played some freshmen on that defensive side of football that came to play. And Nicholls showed me something with that football club they have.
Also a shout out to Kenny Dotson, who was the Southland Conference Defensive Player of the Week. 5 tackles, 1 sack, a recovered fumble. Nichols' defense really came through for him, and Tim Rebo's got that program turned around out in Thibodaux. We'll be back with more of the John Fourcade Show, sponsored each week by Veterans Ford.